Hi, sorry about yesterday. They came home, so I had to quickly stop the video. If I'll just cover quickly what I was talking about is the sequence of videos that I'm making. Today is going to be number 1, and I'm basing it on the simulation. Now, what's going to come into the simulation? I'll start with I came to realise over the course of my 45 years that it's not anything to do with who people are or how they've been brought up or how intelligent they are. Is to how much they know of what's going on, how they just sometimes see things. It's nothing really more than the frequency you're living in. And I'll explain this. So, if you take the whole band of, let's say, in the simulation, you don't have to be in, well, everyone's in the simulation, right? But you don't have to be in that net, in that trap hold, like sinking sand kind of life, where you're just completely controlled, things are beyond you, you can't change anything. You're there because you make decisions to be there, unwittingly. Now, if I could explain this, I had to write it all down so I can remember everything. If we live in a world of rainbow, let's say that, right? And every colour of the rainbow all combined gives you 100 gigs worth of memory, information that's available to you. There's 100 gigs worth of information all around us in the airwaves, in the ether, that's available for us to download, to feel, to know, to see, right? Now, we're never going to get that whole 100 gigs, right? Because that's in layers. It comes in layers. So anyone who's ever gone through a spiritual journey will know that you go in jumps. You start off, you know, after a few months you'll suddenly get like a jump in awareness, like, oh, I just know this now, you know. It comes in jumps in awareness, and that is you rising up through levels of consciousness. You get through the next barrier, and suddenly you're in a dimension where there's a lot more information available to you, so you can make better ideas, you understand things clearer, and you keep progressing up. Now, when it comes to being in the bottom level, right, you only have, let's say, out of the 100 gigs, 5 gigs, right, worth of information available to you. So you're not going to be able to make an informed decision. You're going to see things so small. You're going to, your understanding of it is so tiny that you really can't get the big picture of what's really going on. You can't even possibly understand or comprehend what some people are talking about. It's just like, that you could be talking a different language, and it's only because you're in a frequency that doesn't allow you're not receiving that information. That's why you have people on the planet who spend all their life meditating, sitting on top of mountains, fasting. They're really in touch. They've opened themselves up to possibly 95 gig, right? Possibly. Maybe they got the whole 100. I don't know. But they've opened up to a lot more. They just see things very clearly, very shrewd. They're clarity of sight, clarity of feeling. They just understand. They just get it, right? And the rest of us, oh, I could never be like that. Yeah, you can. You can be like that if you work on raising your vibration. Because being in the red frequency, I call it the red. I just go through. You start from red at the bottom, because red would normally be your base chakra, right? Since I've removed mine now, don't know what colour I am anymore. My daughter says I'm pink. But if you're only in the red frequency, then it's very limited information on everything, right? You might be struggling to meditate. You might be. I see it as a place of absolute control. You're in the bottom part. Now, bear in mind, we have free will on this planet, okay? And people often say, why, if I live in a world with God, so righteous, so beautiful, does terrible things happen? Well, because we chose free will. Whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, we chose free will over, what's the opposite, a dictatorship? So, I don't want to be dictated to. I chose free will, but sometimes that's a hard journey, right? Because things happen that are horrible. You don't want things to happen horrible. And it makes people doubt there's such a thing as a God. This creative, the all, as I call it, and creative force that has inspired life and everything. So, that all information is available to us. But if we make life choices that mean we only can exist in the red frequency, the bottommost frequency with a limited amount of information, then you can be controlled. You're a species that can be absolutely controlled. That the archons run wild through that place, right? They just have ownership of it. They're everywhere. When I say archons, if you don't know what I mean, from ones I've seen, they look kind of like Smeagol out of Lord of the Rings, if you've ever seen that. They're kind of hunched over, quite often bald, long sharp claws, kind of human-like faces, maybe a bit longer, with a scream mask type of thing. But they're always everywhere. I've seen one sitting up in a bureau one time, and they will mess with your head. They'll completely put thoughts and ideas in your head. Now this is how they work on the red frequency. They are very good at telepathy. They're very good at heat lamping. And if you haven't watched the last one, heat lamping is when they will project an emotion or a feeling or an energy onto you, and you will be completely riddled with this feeling. And usually it's fear or insecurity or paranoia. They will heat lamp you with this. You're now in this energy, being sickened by this energy, and you'll believe it's you, right? And you might end up taking tablets for it, or feeling just despair or not doing things, because they're heat lamping you. And it doesn't always last long. They'll start and stop and start and stop. They haven't got the energy, I believe, to keep on doing it continually. I'm not saying every mental disorder or unease is caused by them. I don't know that, but I know they have this ability. I've seen them at work, right? And I've especially seen them when people are drinking alcohol. Like black mists fly around their head. They're completely controlling the person who's incapacitated or inebriated, whatever. So, in this red phrase, you're limited information, and they have complete control of your mind and your actions, to an extent. If you're not aware that something is implanting ideas or obsessions or compulsions, if you don't realise that that's out with you, some gnarly little ass doing it to you, then you'll think it's you. And you'll have all this guilt and shame at what you've been doing. You can't control yourself. You might just believe it's what you desire. Right? You might believe it is you, that is you wanting these things. And then you feel horrible and sick after you've done something. Why did I do that? But at the time I wanted it because it wasn't you. Right? It wasn't you doing it. It wasn't your will. You were being heat lamped. You were having seeds implanted. They're sneaky little buggers, right? Now, how to avoid that, right, is I have always been a great believer. If I have an instinct out of nowhere to do something, I'll say, well, I'll wait half an hour. Maybe if I still want it then, I'll do it then. Or I'll wait an hour. Or if it's a compulsive buy, I'll wait a month. If I still want it in a month, then I know it's really me that wants it. Because I had this nightmare a long time ago. My son was only 4, the age my daughter is now. He's now 18. And in this nightmare, a friend had phoned me and said, he's coming for me. I answered the phone to him. Now he's got me. He's coming for me. And I didn't know who this was, this person that was coming for them, right? I just knew it was a dark-haired guy. I could see in my head, a dark-haired guy. Now, I ended up in a public toilet, and this was the very first one of my toilet dreams, which I'll go on to explain my toilet dreams later. This is the very first toilet dream. It was a public toilet. It was 4 toilets, and I remember answering if my phone rang. Now, you don't really have phones there, right? It's telepathic communication, but you have to you pick up a brick, something, to pretend you're on a phone. You seem to have some tool to make it believable. So I answered the phone, and the guy says to me, "Oh, I've got you now, but I'm not going after you. I'm going after him." And at that point, my 4-year-old son walked in, and he looked like he was completely hypnotised, googly eyes. Walked in and went past me, went to the toilet and scooped out a big horrible poo and started to eat it. And I'm going, "Oh no, don't eat it, what are you doing?" And he thought it was chocolate. Thought it was chocolate, and he was eating it and he thought it was delicious. And the guy says, "I'm going after him. I'm going to take him, he's going to die now." And it was horrible. This dream affected me for a long time. But I never understood it. Not until really quite recently. Because what I was trying to be shown there was that if you if something's putting a thought into your head, if something's trying to connect with you and trying to, you know, plant seeds in your head, right? Same as if they're trying to communicate with you telepathically, and you pick up the phone, right? You reply, you tune in and listen, and it's like if someone texts you, right? They don't know you're there, or you haven't read it yet, or you're not communicating with them until you pick up and reply to them, or read the message that says that it's been seen, right? They know you've seen it. Same thing. If you acknowledge that, if you acknowledge it's someone talking and answer back, even the mistake I made most of the time was to answer back in anger. What the hell do you want? What are you hanging about me for? I've answered the phone. I've connected. I have connected those two energetic lines together, mine and his. He's now got energy to do whatever he wants, right? He can now plant seeds in my head. He's made that connection. I allowed it by answering, right? In the same way that if you get an impulse put to you, some random idea, some crazy thought, or some insecurity, and you believe it to be you, you're connecting to that. That's a false, just so your energy goes around here, right? A little crystal, bad, nasty crystal has been put into your energy field, right? And it's like, bing, you're aware of it, right? You're aware of this new concept, new idea, new something, right? And you're not educated enough in this to know that that's not you. It could easily be implanted. You therefore will accept that as being your thought or your intention. Therefore, it becomes part of you. That's how the archons get in. That is their entry point in, right? And they will live inside you, your energy body, whatever you want to call it, controlling you, hanging off you, feeding off you. You'll start to become tired, like motivated. It can end up being a full possession, as in you see people who are fully possessed by demonic entities. That's where it leads. Not in all cases, don't get me, but it depends on the will of whatever's trying to get into you and if it has that job. I see them all as AI. They're just some form of AI that's out there to do their work, right? They have no emotions, they don't care. They don't care if they weren't going to like you or not, because they seem to be just AI. They don't have any consciousness. As far as I'm aware, that's how it's, over the years, that's how it seemed to me. They're just AI doing their job for someone, right? We'll get to the someone. So, if you can stop those thoughts, if you can become aware that your thoughts are not your own, and you can practice this sometimes by, when you feel that incessant chat happening in your head, start singing in your head. Start singing in your head. And if you can still hear the incessant chat and you're singing, well, then you know it's not you. Because I don't think it's possible to sing and have a conversation with yourself at the same time. Try it. See what you find. Because when I quietened my mind, and it took a long time to practice the art of quieting the mind. I had to, every time I heard chatter, I had to just imagine turning the volume down, silence again, you go up, silence again. I think I spoke one point of my guides would play songs to my head repeatedly, until I got so mad. They were saying, come on, control your mind, stop it, blank it out, take control of your mind. And I think they were doing this to teach me that what's coming into my head is not me. You know, not to help me in any way, so that I could teach lots of people this and help raise the vibration of the planet, which is very much needed right now with all this going on, this great reset happening. People need to really rise up through the colours and try and get a little bit more gigs worth of information into their being, just to know what's happened, to feel it, to know it. So they will implant thoughts in you, make you do actions, drink alcohol, take drugs, everything that lowers you and keeps you in that control field, right? They want you all to be controlled. They don't want anyone having freedom or insight or awareness above their station. But they can't stop you, right? They can't stop you. They might make it hard. They might try and bring people into your life. They're going to cause chaos and distract you from everything. They've got all the little tricks in their bag, right? They're going to try. But if you're steadfast, if you know what's coming, if you're aware of it, and that's why it's really important to not have an ego, to shed the ego, your emotional response to things, to be able to look at things objectively and not see it as, ah, a person's done that to me, you know, to see it as, that happened, okay, why, what, am I meant to learn something from this, is it meant to distract me? I'm not going to see the person as the enemy, because they're just a pawn, right? They've just been unwittingly used in this. And I think I told you strange things, maybe I didn't, no actually I haven't, because I've not made a video since then. When my partner first came over here to Scotland, because he was Croatian national, he's 10 years younger than me, and without a beard he looks a lot younger, right? And I was really aware of this, I was really paranoid, oh my god, it's only 10 years, right, 35 and 45, but I was really aware that people might think I was like child snatching, you know, and because I never vocalised that, but they hear your thinking, they hear your thoughts, right? So we'd be in a shop, many times we'd be in a shop. Now I've been in shops with my sons who are 18 and 21, right? Many times, and no one has ever said to me, oh, is that your son? Never, right? Never. Never in the whole time I've had them as children. Nobody seems to care if they're my children. Why would they? Especially times when nobody's speaking, they're just quietly putting your stuff through, you're standing there. Then they'll look up at me and look at Alan and say, you know, oh, is that your son? No, my partner. No. And then they'd shake themselves like, why did I say that? And go back to it wasn't like they were in the middle of a conversation. It wasn't like we were chatting or anything. They would just suddenly look up and ask. And it was horrible. It made me feel like, oh my god, I look like a child snatcher. Jesus. He doesn't look that much younger than me, but I was just feeling a bit paranoid that, you know, there was a 10-year age gap, and, you know. But anyway, so they were doing that. They know my weaknesses. They know what insecurities I had. So they were using random people in public to ask me if that was my son, right? When it's never happened in the history of having children, if anyone's ever asked me that. Even though my sons, you know, look grown up, they look like men now, still never, why would they ask? Why would they care, right? But they did it countless times in nearly every shop we went to. I ended up laughing at it because it became such a joke, you know, especially when the person would kind of shake themselves and like, what did I just ask? Well, silly thing to ask, you know, where'd that come from? Because they were being controlled, because they believed that was their thought, and so they just, verbal diarrhea, asked. So, to be aware of your own mind, to learn to quieten the mind, keeps them out of your mind. And it's a constant, no, I wouldn't say struggle, because it doesn't become a struggle, it becomes a practice, habit. You have to form a habit of questioning every thought. Why did I just have this random thought to throw coffee in my friend's face, you know? Don't think that's maybe me. Or why did I just get this random thought to put my phone down the drain in the street? I mean, there's, you know, extreme examples, but I'm sure many of you have had these kind of things happen. Or it can be, I feel like, you know, nicking a fag off my mum when she's not in the room. Now, that's not cool, right? People know these things aren't cool. Sneaking about, okay, maybe if you haven't told your mum you smoked and you're gasping a fag, maybe that can be excused. But just random things that get put in your head, you know, like say something random to your friend, or lie to your friend, or something. It's something that's out of character that you get, or you start getting paranoid feelings, your friend's thinking this about you. That's them. That's classic them, right? Any insecurities that hit you. You get a wobbly tummy before you go out. Got a bad feeling about going out, I'm not sure. Maybe there's going to be a multi-car crash. Maybe the lightning's going to strike this rain and everyone's going to get electrocuted and stupid crap, right? But then it'll make you go, maybe I shouldn't go out. Yep, it's a sign, shouldn't leave the house. I'm going to keep myself in. And eventually it keeps you away from all your friends, it starts to separate you, it starts to make you feel lonely and you don't want to connect to anybody, and then your vibrations, bleh, you're no longer a threat to them. Great, you're scored off the list, gone. They'll keep a watchful eye on you to make sure you're not getting back up again, but their ultimate aim is to keep us low in the red frequency, where we're animalistic, where it's fight or flight, where we're limited information, and we're very easily controlled slaves, right? We can be monopolised, we can be used to their advantage, right? So once you become aware of this, you can then become immune to it, absolutely immune, And it does take practice, because you might find yourself saying, God, I got a thought in my head earlier and I actually ran with it. Are they in me now? Very possibly. Might be. But all you have to do is just inwardly imagine a little fire, but your own little fire burning, and just cleanse outwards and cleanse anything from you, and just feel happy. Being happy gets rid of them. They don't seem to like people being happy. I have instances where I'm having a great energetic day. I feel like there's a purified fire coming out of me. I've been doing lots of work on myself. I feel totally connected. I just know things, you know. I just, like, super psychic, you know. I can hear my partner's thoughts. I see my child. I can just see everything. It's like I have just this absolute clarity, and it feels really good. And when I feel like that, they start to creep in behind me, and I feel this energy behind me. Quite often I'm doing the dishes. There's something to do with running water that gets them. But I'm doing the dishes and I feel this energy behind me. Foreboding, rari energy, you know. The hairs in your neck stand up. You feel this deep threat behind you. And it's almost because that's a heat lamp, right? They're not actually going to do anything that's going to actually hurt you. They can't. Right? They can't actually hurt you, but they can make you believe they can. They can make you completely crazy with fear, right? But it's a heat lamp. It's not real. I mean, they can bang spoons, knock on the walls, whisper in my ear, and bash on if it makes you happy. But it doesn't scare me, because I know that's all they can do. All they can do. Yeah, it annoys me that my daughter sees them, but she sees them. They don't hurt her, they don't touch her. Okay, the alien abduction, the little finger marks on the legs. But in life, in our human body, nothing's happened to her. They're not hurting her. They can't hurt us. They're not obligated to hurt us. Their only design is fear, right? They want us pushed back down. They can't hurt us because they know that if we really are pushed, we can wipe them out of existence. If you piss us off enough. So they don't dare do that. The reason they keep us so low and so unaware and so energetically defenseless is because we're very powerful. They have to keep us there because we can rid the world of them if we choose, right? So they can't allow us to get to that level because we're too big a threat for them. So they don't actually hurt you, right? Okay, I've gone face to face with a lot of demons. I've done a lot of exorcisms. Nothing's hurt me. I've grabbed them by the throat sometimes. No one's attacked me back. Never. And I've done it for a long time. So take that for what you will. But yeah, so this feeling creeps up. Don't get me wrong, back in the day, I would run. I would feel that, and run out the door, you know, go and visit a friend, because there's shit happening in the house, you know. Not now. Now I just, and it still takes a lot of standing your ground, you know. But now what I find is I just start singing. And if you're singing and you can really lose yourself in the song, and you know, because I used to argue, what do you want? Why are you behind me? You think you're the big man coming up behind me, my neck, you know, and I'd be really upfront with them and bolshy, and the energy just got stronger and stronger and stronger. And you're thinking, they're actually going to manifest, they're going to become solid. Okay, what am I going to do? Well, I'll just hit them with the pot and wash it, and you know, you have to go through this process, right? They never did though. Never, right? And I've really been pushing their buttons. Never. And then they put the fear thought in your head. It's like, comes to your head, oh, they're going to go after the kids. Maybe the kids will be attacked at school right now, you know. No, they're not. It's their only weapon is fear. It's the only weapon. So I started singing. And it's usually Amazing Grace, because it feels nice, right? It's a good song. So I start singing that, and I get right into it, and after like a couple of lines, gone. Absolutely gone. Nothing else. Nothing more. They don't come back for a while. Because it's like the happiness is almost like toxic. It must smell bad or something, you know. I actually think it's because it's such a high vibration that it becomes like too wobbly for them. They can't actually ground themselves because it's too much of a, you know, good frequency. I think we have a really powerful energy when we want to have. Really powerful. We can just blast them away. They can't actually be there if the energy's too good. You know, can't really stay when you're giving it laldy singing. It could be anything. You can sing anything. Just try it. Next thing you feel the hairs in the back of your neck and some demonic presence behind you, start singing bloody Baba Black Sheep if you like. Anything to make yourself laugh. Because it goes away instantly. Either I raise vibration higher and get rid of it, and it can't see me anymore, or it goes away. I don't know which one it is, but it works. So take that one. Right, look at my little list of what I was going to say to. Yeah, I've got there about removing the ego. Removing the ego is the biggest thing you can ever do, because it's the biggest doorway into you. That you're offended by this, or that hurt your feelings, and yeah, things are going to hurt our feelings. Somebody we really care about can be shitty to us, and it can, like, that kind of hurt. You know, I really like you. That pissed me off. It hurt me. But understanding should be the first place you go. Okay, well, that hurts, but why did you do that? Can I understand what you're going through? Right, rather than just all lash out and think, oh, woe is me, the world's against me. I'm just going to look at the time because it's nearly time to collect my daughter. I don't get much time. So that's really all I was going to mention on the simulation. I don't know, I've brought in the Archons, and I mentioned how they looked like those little Smeagol guys. There is beings though that do look like, this just be how they project to me, but they do seem very human-like, some of them. Sometimes they appear very reptilian. I don't know which the biggest guys is there, if they're what face, because they trick you. They'll have different faces, depending on how much they want to scare you. They'll have a face for different occasions, you know. But sometimes they look like they're kind of human-like, but their skin's like grey, and the way, not grey as in like a grey alien grey, I mean as in like dusty. It's like black dust that makes up the face. And if you've ever seen the movie with Jack Frost in it, I can't remember what it's called now, the Guardians of something of the Guardians, Rise of the Guardians, I think. The character Pitch Black. When I saw that movie and the way it moved this black sand, I was like, that's what I've seen for years. That's what they look like. Like their skin looks like dusty. They're made of black dust and they can move as a black dust. And I'm not sure if that's nanotechnology. Because that always seems to come to me like this is some kind of nanotech. It moves in a cloud. It's like little things that makes up the shape of human. And we believe it to be human, and we believe it to be a monster, and monsters go bleh. Where it's nothing more than just a waveform really to your head to make you believe certain stuff, and it's all a big fat lie. And there's really nothing to be scared of at all, ever. The only thing you need to be scared of is your fellow humans. That's it. They can be imbalanced through possibly what I'm talking about. They can be infested with these archonic AI little bug things. Could well be. So I don't know if I want to talk about anything else on that subject. Can't really think. Just when you have things happen in your house, things moving, noises, whispering, if you just completely ignore it, right, it might get worse for a while, like, oh, we want you to listen to us, bang, 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 open and slamming doors, you know. But if you just kind of giggle and laugh, there's nothing they can do, right? There's nothing they can do. And there was a girl who put a video up recently. She was on this haunted program and she was really haunted. And I actually went to her house and I saw these 7 demons, whatever they were. Some of them looked like just normal people. There was 2 who were kind of major players. But I just went there. I didn't know I was going. I just did some energy work and I found myself there. And I was like, I recognise this house I'm in. Where am I? And I was like, oh yeah, that's the TV show I just watched, you know. And then I went into a room and the room was pitch black, nothing to be seen. I'm like, okay, here we go again. I've done exorcisms for a long, long time. In body, going to people's houses or doing it astrally. I've done it for years. It seems to be part of my job here. So I just go in, the room's pitch black, put down a massive crystal, boom, right, the crystal's now going to light up the room, and then it reflects off people's faces. And there's some people hiding in corners, like, who's this coming? And 2 big dudes standing behind me, trying to be all threatening. I just ignore them. A lot of my dream work is going to hell and rescuing people, so nothing is terrifying to me now. I've done that for over, I'd say probably 30 years. I've been taken to these hell dimensions, and sometimes hell comes to my bedroom. But hey, you just punch it. I have punched it many times. Big demonic things come, open your eyes and see it looking at you. swing for it. It's like I just have no fear for it anymore. All my childhood I had this. I had bogeymen coming to me, paralysis, can't move, can't scream, you know, awful, terrifying situations, been taken to horrible places and horrible things done to you, and you know, a lot of times abductions, you've got your, you know, hand over your mouth and your pin. When you go through trauma like that, you end up kick-ass. After that, you're like, I'm not scared of you anymore. I'm not scared of any of you anymore. You know, go on then, I dare you. Materialise. Let's go. Me and you, one-on-one. Come on. You don't care. You've lost all your fear. Maybe I was trained, maybe it was all a simulation going through all that fear to get me to this point now. God knows. But I don't fear them. I'm always ready for the, come on then, let's go, me and you. You know, my partner laughs at me and ready to attack demonic beings all the time. But anyway, this house I went to, there was one particular, so I said, okay, as I always do when I go there, who wants liberated? I look around, they're all shining. Anybody want liberated? Will I just eeny meeny? Will I pick one of you? Because you have to be liberated. Can't stay here. Which one must go first? And this one guy was in the corner, I could see his face, and I just grabbed him. And I actually thought when I flew up, right, normally when I fly up through dimensions. Right, that's what normally happens. But not this time. I was flying up and I just flew up to the edge of space. I'm like, I was confused. Why am I at the edge of space? I haven't gone up any dimensions. I'm still in the same place. They're obviously too low a frequency to actually, for me to carry them up. So I'm in the edge of space, and this dude was like gripping onto me like in a state of panic, thinking I might drop him, he's going to fall and die. I don't know how they think they're going to die, but in a state of panic. So I said, okay, there's your choice. Do you want to be liberated, or do you want me to let you go? I know it's a bit cruel, right? But I still give free will, right? So I chose to be liberated. So I opened up this portal, stuck them through. You know, I opened up a little, like a wormhole thing. I don't know what I do. I just do it, right? And then I went back down. And I was like, and I stood again purposely with those two big ones to my back. Which one wants to go next? And I just reached over my shoulder. How about you? Bang. Put in front of me. I did the same to him. Took him up and put him. Well, I was quite tired, right, after doing two of them. I didn't go back down the house again. So I was like, oh, there's still 5 there. I'll have to go back and get them out, right? The girl's terrified. But I was tired, eh? So I went to sleep anyway. That's when my dad got sick and then died. And so I didn't really get a chance to go back again and do that. But one night, just randomly, a few weeks ago, I was in a dream, and this person, just this little grey thing, came shooting at me, jumped into my chakras when I still had them, and flew up with me, and I ended up at the edge of space. And I didn't remember doing what I'd done in this person's house. I was like, oh, I'm at the edge of space, you know. It was obviously trying to get me back for what I'd done to one of the other ones, right? Must have known, it must be his pal or something. But I can't be fooled like that. So I didn't remember doing that. I didn't remember any connection to that. But I was like, oh, look, we're edge of space. Oh, we're going to fly somewhere. We're going to go on an adventure. And they must think I'm either so like brain dead, or like simple, you know, or I don't know. I don't know what they're making me. But I'm always like, oh, we're going to have fun now, yay! And it went away. And it wasn't until I woke up I was like, oh my god, they were trying to get me back. They're trying to do it to me. They can't do it to me because I just find everything too funny and ridiculous, you know. But they gave it a good try, right? So I still have to go back and get those other 5. So I do apologise to that girl. I haven't been back to get them yet. Hopefully she's got it sorted. Without 2. Well, they're just idiots. They're just, you know what I see them being like? School bullies. Like the teenagers will stand in the corridor and throw bits of paper at you and call your names. That's all like they are. They're just these bullies who'll make a big racket and bang, eh? But the minute you turn on them, they go running. You know? Unless I just sing really bad and they want to get out of here. It's a possibility, eh? Anyway, I'm going to finish up now. The next video that I'm going to do will be on, if I remember what I said, it'll be on, I can cover the Dark Shadow Men. I might cover the big black dude. Some people might call it the man in the hat, we call it. The guy in the hat, comes with a grey. I've never actually seen the guy in the hat. My little sister has. And I know my son gets visited by what's called the Smiling Man. I'll explain him as well next time. But I haven't got time to keep going on now, but I'll get some pictures up for you for the smiling man, who he is, and my son's description of him, and I'll tell you about that next time. So have a nice day, smile and sing, don't give in to the thought germs. Namaste.